Hey everybody, this is the Sliders Review, and I'm here today to talk to you about female wrestlers that are in next that I think need to go to the main roster and need to go to the main roster now. I wish I would have put this video out before Saturday night main event, but because I wanted to talk about Soroka and everything, Aruka, but after her match with Bailey, more than ever now, she definitely needs to go to the main roster. I've always felt she always needed to go, or at least be the next like female champion or NXT female champion. But anyways, there are a couple of female wrestlers that are on NXT that I feel like have really no business being in NXT and need to be on either Raw or SmackDown. These women are extremely gifted. They are agile. They are athletic. They're strong. They the crowd are always like supporting them and everything. And I just don't understand why Triple H is just letting them waste away on NXT. Like, I really and truly don't. There are actually some that have been called up that really have disappointed. Either they disappointed just because they haven't really thought of nothing creative for themselves, or creative just really have let them down in terms of booking and stuff. And then there are some that are really good wrestlers that I'm just wondering what the heck has happened to them. Like Selena Vega. I love myself some Selena Vega. Like, I love the fact that she's short and she can still wrestle with like the taller, bigger women and everything. She can even hit a Canadian destroyer on somebody, which now they just call Code Red. I don't know why they call it that, or Pop Rocks. Just call it a Canadian. Well, I forgot. They can't call it that because she's not Canadian. But anyway, I just like the way it sounds, Canadian destroyer and everything. And that's really impressive for somebody her size. However, the odd thing is, the moment she got a push and the moment she became US champ and everything, I remember when they went overseas to that one country, they booed her, but they always boo people of color over there, which they're over there right now again. And I'm just like, ugh. Anyway, and it's weird that they boo people of color because they're people of color themselves, so that don't make no sense. But the moment that happened, like, that was weird because she was a face. They booed her. And they also booed Bianca Belair too. But like the moment they booed her, something weird just happened with her. She started like botching week after week. Like, she couldn't hit certain like simple moves that she's done so many times before. And her push has completely went away. They took the belt off her. They like, she doesn't even really do singles competition no more. Now she's just hanging with her husband, pretty much being a valet to him. And she finally had a match after so many months of not having one. And sadly, she botched in a major way that could have broke her neck. And now her uncle died and everything, so she's going through a rough time. And I hate how WWE isn't really doing much with her. And she deserves so much more because they fired her for a stupid reason a long time ago. I hope she can get back her momentum and everything. But as of right now, she's not really delivering nothing. Neither is like Nikki Cross and not even Michin. Chin, I don't know what the world they are doing with her. And even she doesn't know, she admitted. Like, she went against Chelsea Green a long time ago for the US Championship belt. And she just kept going and going and going and going. And nothing became of that. And then after a while, the audience just gave up on her and is all like, stop giving her a chance. Now, my problem with her is she's a little loosey-goosey in the ring. Like, she needs to polish her moves. She can wrestle. She just needs to polish her like move set and everything. Because she's a little loosey goosey in the ring. And that long whatever ride thing goodbye, she needs to stop doing that. She has no butt. But there are other people I've noticed too that need to polish on their wrestling, like Chelsea Green. Chelsea Green can wrestle, but Chelsea Green kind of wrestles like she's back in the Divas era and stuff. Like there are times I'll watch her match, I'm just like, what are you doing? Like, just tighten that move up just a little bit more and everything. And even she's a little frustrated because she said she posted something with her double belt, and she said something about it's hard to lose a championship when you don't have a match or something like that, she said. And she's letting everybody know that, yo, since she's been champion, she hasn't really had a real match yet. And I just don't get what the heck is going on. Why is SmackDown gonna be 3 hours? They're not gonna do nothing with her. Anyway, back to what this video is about. And there are other women that they've called up recently, like Laura Valkyra, whatever her name is. I'm sorry, but every week this woman botches. Like, why isn't she back on Next? I don't know why they called her up for. And the stuff that's going on with her and Bayley, I could care less. Same thing with these two. These two just kind of bore me and everything. And I can't remember their names. But, like, they're not doing anything all that interesting. And maybe they should go back to Next. I'm just saying. But people who should be on the main roster, these women. So Ruka, I have been a fan of her since day one. She has so much going for her. She's tall. She has the look. She's a fan favorite. She is extremely acrobatic and everything because that's her background from before she came to WWE. She's one of those rare cases that, like, she did something completely different before she ever became like a wrestler and stuff. And she's been training, you know, on the spot and since like she first came to WWE, and she's been improving week after week after week after week. It's just her knee keeps taking her out and everything. Now sometimes she does get a little carried away with the acrobatics and everything, and I really hate when they do the whole, oh, those two are very similar, they doing the same moves. I hate that crap. She does need to stop like flipping around way too much, but keep it up. Her submission move takes way too long for her to get into, but her finisher is the best finisher I've seen since the Stunner. That Soul Snatcher is amazing, and she hits it in so many different like angles and positions, like just like Randy Orton and everything. And when she does a double Soul Snatcher, it's amazing. My only problem with the move is that you can tell when it's coming because her opponent will slightly like arch her neck down a little bit and kind of like, you know, kind of in a pointing position, and she'll like lower her head down to take the move, and the cameraman just keeps picking that up, and I hate that because you know it's gonna come and it makes it look fake and it's supposed to look real. I wish they could like fix that somehow, but like whatever. The only real problem I have with her is that I heard her talk for the first time like last week, and her mic skills, at least that episode, were atrocious and everything. It's just kind of like, it's not that hard to cut a promo. You need energy and you need a personality. And she has a personality with all the pictures she takes and her little surfer gimmick and this and that. But it's not coming out whenever she talks on the mic, at least that one time. She was a double champion, and I've been waiting for her to become the NXT Women's Champ. But I say screw that and just put her on the main roster and everything. And let her start being IC Champ or like, you know, US Champ or something like that. Kalani James. Kalani James is somebody I've been impressed with since I started watching like wrestling on YouTube again and stuff. She was the first US champion, no, North American champion for NXT. And even though she's never recaptured that belt again, she kind of doesn't have to because she is just that good and everything. I loved how they made her the TNA Women's Champ. Sure, she was a transitional champion, but nevertheless, the simple fact that like she's never won the NXT women's belt, but they made her the TNA women's champ. That tells you they see something in her. She has the mic skills, she has the pedigree, she has the move set and everything. She just got through wrestling Jordan's Grace, or whatever you say her name. And that was so cool when she put her through the barricade and everything. Something that was completely unexpected. She's a great face. She's a great heel. She has a great look to her. And she is very athletic, and she can even wrestle on a ladder. They need to bring her to the main roster. Speaking of somebody who should have never went to NXT, I don't understand the thought process of this. I truly don't understand why every time a TNA or a AEW person comes to like WWE, they normally automatically go to NXT. Jordan Grace, Jordan, what the heck you say her name? Whatever. She has no business whatsoever being on NXT. She is not a rookie in no way, shape, or form. She's been wrestling for years. And she was a former, like TNA, what was it, Universal Champion or a television champion, a former TNA, like women's champion, and probably a tag champion at that. She can wrestle very well, and she is a powerhouse, and thank God she is off the juice. This week, you can clearly tell she is off the juice because she's starting to get plump again. She is no longer chiseled and muscular and stuff, and she always looked better plump than she did muscular. That could have been one reason why they put her in NXT. But she is a powerhouse and she can dominate. And she can literally go up against like Nia Jax or something like that, you know? Or what's her name? Jade. My main problem with her is she's kind of boring and everything. I don't know what it is, but every time she wrestles, I kind of get kind of bored, but I'm more interested in who she's wrestling than her. I think she's doing old school wrestling where, you know, you're slower pace, you're telling the story, you're kind of moping around to do the next spot. And the problem is newer wrestling is very high paced, very agile. Like, you know, people constantly have momentum and stuff. And she's wrestling like a powerhouse person, which she should because she's a powerhouse, but it's just so slow and kind of boring. They've done so many like, you know, storylines with her with that, what is that lady? Is it Marilyn something? I can't remember. That lady from AEW, who's now the North American champion. Which I don't know much about her, so that's why she's not on this list. And so, like, also Lash Legend is now on this list because she's already on the main roster. But, like, you know, it's like, and that lady from AEW, like, what are they doing with her? Like, I don't get it. Like, I really don't. Like, I don't care if she's a cute face. Like, do something. Now, somebody I have just recently have been paying attention to is Tatum Paxley. I don't know if I really want her to be on the main roster just yet. However, girl can cut a promo like an older wrestler from like the olden days and stuff. That last promo she just cut like this week was amazing with like the dolls. She doesn't stutter or nothing like that, and she has charisma when she talks because she's doing like the whole goth thing. She has the cutest look of them all with the pigtails, the mini skirt, and the goth thing. That is really cool. I haven't paid too many attention to her matches and stuff, but I do know she can wrestle. And her finisher is pretty cool. I do remember she was in a casket match with Wendy Chu. I hope Wendy Chu like improves better. I always like Wendy Chu, but Wendy Chu is very slow in the ring and it becomes very boring. And sadly, Wendy Chu is like on a developmental show and everything, along with Nakia Lyons. I don't know what the heck happened to her. She fell from grace, man. That Lions lady, like, she's not even impressive no more in the ring, and she's on the developmental show. And I thought she was going somewhere with her moveset, but she ain't really going nowhere now. But yeah, like these are the women I really, really, really want to be on the main roster. They need somebody new and fresh. And like, but the problem is every time somebody normally goes to the main roster, they normally don't know what to do with them. They ruin their career and then they're released. Like Julia, like I'm still wondering what the heck she does. I have no idea because she doesn't wrestle. And even the older wrestlers who's been there for like on the main roster for like 10 years, sadly they're starting to become stale because WWE isn't really doing much with them. They're either injured, pregnant, or like they go through one storyline after another, they come back and the fans are like, stop giving this person like a title chance. And then they start doing the tag thing, and it's just like, what are they doing with them? Like, what happened to Bayley's split personality of hearing voices in her head? What happened to that? That has completely just, they just dropped that. And, you know, it's just kind of like, that could have been something really interesting. Kyrie Zane, she's acting like a kid who's getting bossed around by Oscar and everything. Io Sky is she's just like what's her name? Tall woman. Rhea. She's just Rhea's best friend now. Like, okay, whatever. You know what I'm saying? Genius of the Sky is like somebody's best friend. Sometimes I wonder they don't know what to do with her because she's very popular and people love her to death. But I remember when she was women's champ and she wasn't even the leader of her own fraction. Bayley was at that time. And that didn't make no sense. So then they finally made her the leader only to break the team up. And it's just kind of like, what are they doing? Also, the whole Genius of the Sky, come on now. RVD, AJ Styles, Jeff Hardy. I mean, I like her and all, but come on, you can't call it that when those other three have done things way more impressive, flipping around and everything, you know? And I just really want the women's division to get back where it used to be from those videos I used to watch a couple of years back when I started getting back into wrestling and everything. That was some cool, impressive stuff, and it's just kind of like they don't know what to do with the women anymore. The older ones, if they're not getting hurt, they're just like dropping the ball in some way or like another with them. And I need some fresh blood. Like I really, really do. Like they need to add these women to the main roster. Give them like I hate the whole how Lash Legend is like, oh, she's the sidekick of Nia Jax. And it's like, no, man. See what she can do like as a single competitor and everything. You know? Alrighty. Well, I'll talk to y'all later. Bye.